So very good morning to all of you. Good morning to the friends who are here in the classroom and good morning to the ones who are watching this session online. So today is the last day of our PUBAT Planner boot camp. And if you see over the days that we have met and discussed how to begin public administration as an optional, what are the essential tools, techniques that you need, we have covered quite some ground, right? Generally what happens that when you enter into a classroom for a subject, you are completely new. So when we will be starting our substantive classes later this month, so you will be fairly mentally oriented towards the subject, because this is something which is essential. And if you have seen, I have exposed you to all the facets. It is not just about the syllabus, it is also about certain aspects on handling the questions, notes making, vitality of topic, the management of the topic. So this is not going to be something that is just for the sake of me teaching and you noting it down. We are certainly looking at a broader goal, that the goal is to score marks in the examination. So today's session again is going to be a crisp one like the previous session that we had. Yes, but there are going to be some exercises. Hi Ganesh, hi Prashasti. There are going to be certain exercises and here is the worksheet for today. So let me share with you all, since we all are a kind of a family, that I made it a point that we take these worksheets so that you have something to carry away home. 1, 2, until and unless, like I talked in the previous session, until and unless we get our boots dirty on the ground, we get into the field, we don't learn, right? So it is important that we ink our papers, ink our stuff that we do. So today's session is going to be about, as you can see in the worksheet, PYQ analysis and answer writing for beginners. Okay, so for this, let me plot a broad idea. So I am not targeting any score. I am targeting a fairly decent score of 300 plus in the examination. The objective should be very, very clear in your minds. It is not about just completing a syllabus and going about it here and there. It is about, like I said, like I've written in the worksheet, it is about working with a set purpose at our hand. So the target must be very clear. Now, today we are going to talk about PYQs and answer writing. But before I get into substance of it, this preparation cycle, if you see, the preparation is not over with the conclusion of classes. The preparation is an ongoing task till we write the exam and qualify it hands down. Okay, so while one part of it is classes, another part, after let us say we have completed a certain portion of the syllabus and you are no more a rookie, AB initio, fresher with the subject, we need to start answer writing. Like I said in the previous class, we are not going to adopt a train kind of an approach that first I will be dealing with all the classes, then I will do answer writing, etc., etc. So once we have completed a certain portion, we should start answer writing. I am not saying the UPSC level questions. What I am saying is questions which are there to train. Remember, this is the training phase. The performance phase will come in the mocks, right, wherein we'll be tackling actual UPSC level questions. And once we begin answer writing and we have a certain hang of it, then comes the time for the PYQs. First, what I have studied, can I write it? Then, if I can rudimentally be able to write it, I have achieved a constant approach. Then, can I handle the exam type of questions? So there is this laddered approach that we are actually taking. Hi Avinash, hi Daksh. Okay, so that is where you see these things start. And all of this actually move with constant enrichment. Enrichment from books, sources, current affairs, and this actually makes your entire preparation. So the input that you ought to put, when to put, how to put, and what is your goal, that should be very, very clear the moment we hit the button start. Like I said in the very first session, we are not here to do PhDs in public administration. We are here to crack this exam. Okay? Neither I am in the business of predicting this examination. I am fairly in the business of training for it, preparing for it. Okay? Now, when it comes to these things, for preparation classes and all of these things, I have oriented you. Now is the time to orient you for answer writing and PYQs. First, we'll be taking up PYQs. Now, there are certain issues that we are dealing with when it comes to the PYQs. The problem here is that 99% of you, most of you, would end up buying a categorized version, unsolved, or solved, right? And then you will begin reading them one by one, seek to memorize them, but none of you will analyze them. This is incorrect. This is incorrect way of approaching this, right? Hi Praveen, hi Anil, hi Harsh. This is the, hi Abhishek, this is the incorrect way of approaching this. Because let me tell you, whatever material is out there, and I am ready to debate with anybody on this, whatever material is out there in terms of categorization first, this is highly substandard. Substandard, why? Because the person who has made it probably has not made it. The name, the so-called IPS officers, etc., the so-called big teachers that though have made it, they haven't made it themselves. One. Two, even if they have made it, they have sort of drastically screwed it up in a big time. Why? Because the categorization has gone wrong. The moment the categorization goes wrong, it is the start. Everything else goes wrong. Also, you will find that whatever solved PYQs are there, because there are commercial requirements, there is a publisher involved, etc. And for the sake of standardization, for the sake of templatization, they have messed up the answers too. majority of them. So not one compilation at least that has come to my mind or in front of me, I can say is 100% good source, you should go about it. Okay, so that is what they have done wrong. Now what is the solution? The solution is that what is not available off the shelf, we create it. Okay, we create it. So the first task that is there is the categorization itself. Can you categorize the PYQs up to unit, topic, subtopic level? And therefore, the graph I made, I put PYQs here because by then you will have substantial knowledge of the subject so that you are equipped to at least classify it. Yes, there will be mistakes. Yes, there will be mistakes. But we are all equipped to classify it. Okay? So that is something that is needed. I hope all of you have downloaded this worksheet, right? Neha has very kindly put the link of the worksheet in the chat section. So you can download it from there. Also, I want to tell you that yes, we have been interacting through text messages, etc. But I'll be keeping a mentorship session tomorrow. Okay? So there will be a mentorship session tomorrow. Okay? And for that, you will get the emails and the messages. Right? All of you have my number. Just in case you don't, let me know. Okay? Because we'll be keeping it around 11 AM tomorrow for the reason that it syncs with the time that exact timings will be notified in the message and the email. Okay, because this is the same time that we are carrying out our boot camp. So I gather that all of you will be available and not busy with other pursuits. Right. So coming back to this idea, the first thing is the categorization. Why am I saying this? Because you see, the question paper, paper 1, paper 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. Each question 50 marks, question number 1 and 5 compulsory. Okay, 5 into 10 marks, 5 into 10 marks. And for 2, 3, 4 and 6, 7, 8, the mark distribution is 20, 15, 15 for each question. In paper 2, similarly, question 1 and 5 are compulsory, 5 into 10 marks, 5 into 10 marks, and question number 2, 3, 4 and 6, 7, 8 actually converge around 20, 20, 10. So each paper, if you total 8 into 50 is 400 marks, but you have to attempt 250 marks out of those 400 marks. So when you categorize these questions, it is important to see unit wise which unit has more weightage that is coming onto its share. The idea is not that we will leave other units because everything is connected and interconnected, but it still gives you a thrust areas, they give you the high value areas, they give you the hero topics, so as to say, as one of my students who is now serving used to say, they are hero topics, sir. Okay. So this gives us clarity. Also, let us say if I have zeroed down for good 9-10 years, because from 2013 onwards the UPSC makes a shift in public administration. So 2013 very little shift is visible, but from 2016, 2015, 16 the shift is drastic. In the nature of the question it is asking. Right, largely the pattern is this, unless UPSC decides us to surprise, but this has held for years altogether. Okay. So the point is that if you analyze for 9-10 years, and let us say I have kept introduction, right, and from introduction I see that over the period of 10 years 30 questions have been asked, and if these 30 questions have been asked, they will, obviously you don't have 30 subtopics, right? So which topics are the hero topics? For example, you will find in unit 1 a thing called NPM, New Public Management, that we briefly touched upon during our boot camp. That is one of the hero topics. And you will find questions repeating themselves. Repeating not in the language, but repeating in its core context. Right? Let me just give you an example, okay? Just give me a moment. There was this question in 2019. Read the question very clearly. Public administration is constantly being reinvented because it is contextual. So if I plot this question, so public administration is being reinvented because it is contextual. Right? This was a question that was asked in 2019. Now see, question that was asked in 2024. The study of public administration must include its ecology. Isn't it the same question? Isn't it the same question? 2024, question number 5E. Let me point that out. Okay, isn't it the same question? In 2019, if you see, this was 1A. 10 marker 1A, 5E again 10 marker, both compulsory. Right? So this gives us a unique vantage point, because merely reading through the PYQs is not something that is desirable. You need to do analysis. So when I was saying that we are just reading it, that is incorrect. You need analysis. And the first step to those analysis is the right categorization. Because unless we do a right categorization, we will never be able to do the analysis right. So if the start is bad, we cannot redeem ourselves 6 months, 8 months down the line. Okay. Now, if you see, the worksheet, on page number 1 itself, there is this table which I have given, wherein I have plotted the entire paper. Okay, entire paper of 2023 and 2024. So this goes up to page number 5, right? If you will see in the last, I have already filled the portion of the units that are there, right? You have the syllabus, you know the syllabus. There are 12 units in paper 1, right? So every question must belong to 1 or more units out of them only. Okay, so now your task is, just by looking at the paper, and I told you that there would be eureka moment. Okay, so that eureka moment is coming after we see this exercise. Okay, so page 1 to 5, categorization. Just make this categorization and send in your responses on WhatsApp. Those who are watching online, you have enough space. Even if you don't want to write the full names, you can write the units, right? Or you can simply write the short form. For example, there is CPA. So comparative public administration, write CPA, introduction, intro, A, thought, A, behavior, okay, AL, administrative law. So your first task is to put this categorization and the subtopics, okay, for all the 52 odd questions. Just have a look at the syllabus and start doing it, because this is something that I need you to work your brains with. Okay, you have 15 minutes, chalo 20 minutes for this. Okay, because if we don't do the categorization right, then we are in a sort of a trouble. Okay, so you have 20 minutes for this. I haven't received a responses yet from many of you, but still there has been a lot of time. So let us see. Hanji, hua? Right. Many of them are right. Many of them lack precision. Now, I'll show you something, the eureka moment that I talked about previously. Okay, just give me a moment on this. Now, this is going to be, my style of stuff, wherein, okay, now if you see, what I've done is I have plotted the questions, and let me sort of zoom in so that you know, this is 2023 and 2024. So now when you see, just follow the queue, okay. There is obviously a serial number because many questions are before that, so you can ignore that serial number for a while. But if you see, I have sort of mapped these questions. Question number, question, year, unit, marks, and the topic and subtopic. And I have sort of, if you see, marked where there are overlappings, where there is a question which is abstract, which belongs to multiple units. Now this is a sort of a eureka moment for the reason that it gives you a lot of insight into identification of those hero areas, right? Also the marks distribution, placement of the question. Where is it going to be placed most likely? Okay, of course, you will find that there is an exception to every rule that is coming up, but those exceptions are barely 10%. The rule is 90%. Okay, so this is 2023 and 2024 categorization that is there, right? A lot of you would want me to share this Excel sheet with you. This is my way of working. I've worked it on Excel. You want to work on pen and paper, you can work it and map out the trends. Similarly, I have done it for paper 2. and then there are analysis which I have been making. Okay, so the point here is that this unravels the exam orientation for you like anything. Now, like I said, most of you would want me to share this Excel sheet with you, but I won't. The idea is that when we will be conducting our sessions and when we have reached a certain level of maturity with our sessions, you make it. Because making this Excel sheet yourself or making this categorization, I am repeatedly saying Excel sheet because I have done it on Excel, right, the spreadsheet. But doing this categorization yourself will involve a lot of brainstorming and analysis, and a sample of it you would have seen just now. You had everything. You had questions, you had internet, you had the UPSC syllabus. Still many of you felt that it is challenging, and most of the challenge that you would have felt, let me identify that I do not know this. Even when you will know this, there is going to be a lot of subjectivity, because when you will bring it to me, you will correct it. So usually I give this Excel sheets to the students who are on the verge of appearing for the mains examination, who have cleared the prelims. Okay, and they first bring back that Excel sheet to me, and I mean, you can ask this to any of my students, that those are there, including Chandra Prabha and others, that I give this only when they give an input to me. So I am going to make you guys work a lot, but trust me, it's going to be purposeful. Okay, you bring it howsoever incorrect, we will discuss it, and then only I will give you the correct one. Okay, so we will have to go through that grind. Now let me just show you a sample. This is from 2016 onwards that I have plotted. If you will see 2016, this arrow, right? Now let me put a filter. Okay, and let me just pull out the questions related to the unit of introduction. This is paper 1 we are talking, friends. Now if you see year on year, you can find the average marks. If I see 10, 15, 15, 2016, 40 marks out of 400. Out of 400 I say. Okay, 40 marks, and look at the placement of the question. 1B compulsory, 2B and 3B. Right? Similarly, year on year we can find the trends. Now you see the subtopics. Most of it you will find, see, this is NPM, this is NPM, again NPM, again NPM, again NPM, again NPM, 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 NPM again. Okay, and for 2024 there was only one question on NPM. So this way if you plot, and this is what I have done for optional and the GS portions that I teach, but the point is you can do it for every subject. Who's stopping you? Right? So it is important that we analyze these PYQs. The analysis of the PYQs is very, very important, because until and unless we know that which topics are coming up in the examination as hero topics, right, you will never be able to decipher. Now if we see from 2016 to 2024, 9 years, let us see the average marks distribution of unit 1. The total is 465 divided by 9. 9 5s are 45, 1, 9 1s are 9, roughly 50 marks on an average unit 1 gives you. And now see the interesting thing, see the placement. We are looking at unit the section A of the paper. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. One question in part B, that is 6A. Okay, then again 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. One question. Okay, then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. So out of 33 questions over 9 years, only 3 questions, that is barely 10% of it, just like I told you, okay, have come out of section A, right? Out of section A. Rest of it is in confined to section A of the paper. Now see, a lot many questions you will find in question number 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, here and there 3, 4. So that shows that the likelihood of a compulsory question from this unit is always there. So this is what my analysis are, both in terms of mechanical, the positioning and the marks, and in terms of the qualitative, how it is coming across, which topics are being asked again and again. And I gave you the example, the contextual and the ecological question example, that how it is actually surfacing itself in the same form, the same question, same soul, just the phraseology is different. So it helps us bust a lot of myth. It helps us bust a lot of myth. So has everyone understood this? Understood? Okay. Therefore, PYQ analysis are something that are critical. You need not simply read them. You have to analyze them as well. Right. Okay. So this was the story of our PYQ and how we should do this. Also, while we'll be in the class and as and when we'll move to a substantial portion, I might be giving certain small PYQ exercises to you all, right, for homeworks, or we'll be discussing some of these questions that, okay, let us say we have covered topic X and this is how this topic is getting manifested in the examination. So the program is going to be wholesome in that sense. Like I said, we are preparing for the examination. We are not just covering a subject for the heck of it. Okay. Now, let us move to the next segment, that is, how do we approach the public administration questions, and it is on page 6. Okay. For this approach, the pep talk that was there, I gave you yesterday, how to break down the question, how to see. So for that, I have shared a sample, keyword analysis, the operative word analysis for you, and I have given a small, answer. Next is the IBC approach: intro, body, conclusion. Now, if you see this approach and the format and the breakdown that I have given you, just put a big cross on this, like this. Just put it on your worksheet, the big cross on like this, towards the end, where intro 30 words, body 90 words, right? And what are the things of enrichment? Just remember the content, just put a cross on the words that are there. This is the template approach that I want you not to follow, and I deliberately put that in the worksheet so that it gets internalized that ये नहीं करना है, we should not do this. Okay, ये नहीं करना है, we should not do this. All right, but the content part of it remains the same. Now let me walk you through a small story, right? And I want you to be responsive on this, okay, when I ask questions. All of you have seen the 90s slapstick dramas, right? Courtroom dramas. My lord, we are in this temple of justice and all that. Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on. Kabir, Mudit, Arvind, Abhishek, Kunal, Avinash, Tejaswini, Naveen, yes or no? Yes? Yes? Hanil? Alright. So just remember those drama. This is going to be a bit animated. Okay? Let me take a leaf out of that drama that we all have seen in the slapstick Bollywood movies, the courtroom drama, intense music and all that. So while writing an answer, you have to be like a deft lawyer. Sorry. Now, assume that there is this movie going on and a case is there. Let us say there are two friends. Okay, let me take the names from one of you. Okay, don't mind if I character assassinate you in this. This is just for the example. So let us say we have Akash and Naveen. Okay. So the situation is, the question is that Naveen has been murdered brutally on the night of 31st December. And Akash is his best friend. And Akash has been accused of the murder. The courtroom drama opens. Once this courtroom drama opens, I am Akash's defense lawyer. And of course, there is prosecution and other things. Okay? So now the courtroom drama opens and the spotlight is on me and I say that, my lord, we have assembled in this temple of justice for the reason that my client Akash has been accused of murdering his childhood beloved friend Naveen in cold blood using a dagger on the night of 31st December after being drunk. But in this court today, I will prove that my client Akash is innocent. So if you see, I laid down the problem before you. That was my question. This was my introduction. Okay, introduction. Have I talked about Akash's profession, age, whether he is married, unmarried? No, right? Obviously, Akash will have these information. As an individual, he will have certain other information. But do I need it for my question? No. And if you see the introduction, I can broadly trace back the question. This is my introduction where I contextualize the demand. And I hint what I am about to do. I said, no, I will prove that my client is innocent. Then there will be a connection line. And the main fulcrum of your argument or set of arguments. The main fulcrum of the argument and the set of arguments will come after connecting this line. And to prove this point, my lord, I would like to present certain evidences and certain witnesses in front of the court. My client Akash cannot murder his friend Naveen for the reason that from 28th to 2nd of January, he was not in town. He was ringing in the new year on a beach in Thailand. So if that individual was not in town, how can he murder his friend? This is the main fulcrum of my argument. And to prove this, let me present these evidences. Flight boarding pass, hotel CCTV footage, right? Witnesses, manager of the hotel, air hostess of the airline. Okay, because it's a murder investigation, so the motive, weapon and crime, all of these needs to be stitched together. So I will give these arguments, forensic report, this report, that report. So basically this body comes across as an exercise of prove and proof. Right? With supporting evidences. In my answer, I will use conceptual analysis, concepts, not just the information, but also how and why elements. Just like in that movie, the drama, the lawyer would say, and of course, there would be counter arguments by the prosecution, that this was the reason they were fighting over a girl and things like that. Okay, so there can be any reason, or they were fighting over a business or money or whatever. Okay, so there would be these set of arguments, counter arguments that will be presented, but in a structured format. And once everything gets settled, I will move down towards conclusion, wherein I will say that, my lord, please see, these evidences and witnesses are screaming that Akash has not murdered Naveen. Look at his face. He's so distraughted that his beloved friend is no more. He repeatedly pleaded him to come with him to Thailand for partying on New Year's Eve. But he denied. And now he is no more. Look what the condition is. He's already in trauma, and this false case is putting more trauma on him. So therefore, I request my lord to exonerate my client honorably and instruct the police to find the real culprits, so that his friend's soul can receive justice, my lord, so that his friend's soul can receive justice. So if you see the conclusion, what I have done, I have reinforced what I said in introduction, but with a far greater degree of certainty, far greater degree of force, and I have squeezed in the way forward with it. You can also say that this clearly established that my client is innocent. The police must be instructed to find the real culprits, and then say he must be exonerated. So there is a sense of well-roundedness that has emerged in the answer. This is how you have to think. Okay? Now this should be the manner of your thinking. How do we do it? Read the question. Just read the question. Okay? So let us say there is a question about Wilson, the father of public administration. Okay? And every time there is a question about Wilson, the father of public administration, I see 99% candidates writing, Woodrow Wilson is the father of public administration. Arey yaar, pucha hai? Has that been asked? Some particular dimension related to Wilson might be asked, no? Remember, we are at a shortage of words and space and time in the examination. We don't have the luxury of writing on and on. We are constrained by the word limit, time limit and space. So while you practice, while you are in the preparation phase, while you are learning the skill of answer writing, remember, answer writing is a skill. Answer writing is not an activity. Writing answers is just a process of acquiring that skill. But if you don't have the right tools and implements, You will never be able to carve out that sculpture. Okay, so read the question, pause for 10 seconds. Read it again, pause for 10 seconds. Okay, and then take a rough sheet. This is, I am asking you to build the skill, right? And I told you never think and write simultaneously. Always think first and write later. So once you have 2 times read the question, calm yourself, take a deep breath and vomit everything that is out there. Everything means everything. Whether it is the name of your dog, your favorite snack or anything that is coming to your mind. Whether a song Nibuda Nibuda is going on in your mind. Vomit that out. Empty, flush your brain on this paper in a random order. Then read the question again. Suppose I have listed out like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. This is obviously I am using as symbols. Now, when I read the question again, after vomiting my brain out, strike out what is not relevant. It might be true, but what is not relevant to my question. Okay? And just keep the stuff that is relevant. So if you see, we are left with A, B, C, D, E, G. Okay? Then we are left with this. Then order it. That first I will talk about A, then I will talk about C, then I will talk about D, then I will talk about B, then I will talk about G, then I will talk about E. So it will give you a framework, an order of arguments. Then add weights. This is something that I am going to be very detailed. This is something, this is going to be a passing reference. This I will take it up to a figure and link it with B. Make a plan. Plan your answer. Once you have done this, you have a framework with you. So in school and colleges during short tests, we used to say to our friends that, yaar, tell me the heading, I will write the rest. Okay? Just tell me the heading, the keyword, I will write the rest. Okay? So this is you helping yourself. Now take this blueprint, sandwich it between a good introduction and conclusion like a deft lawyer and place the answer. Okay? Because you are constrained by word limit, you will know you are solving a 10 marker, 15 marker. So you know the emphasis that you need to pay here. Okay? This is something that will act as a blueprint and then you write the answer. Now this entire process will take anywhere between 12 to 15 minutes for one answer. For one answer. Give it that time while you are preparing. Okay? Gradually, it's an exercise in my experience of 500 questions. Any questions. I'm not talking about optional. This is the skill of answer writing that we are talking about. For somebody, the mark might arrive at 450. For somebody else, the mark might arrive at 550. But on an average, 500 questions. So for first 100 to 150 questions, do it like this. Okay. Be very consistent. Let us say 500 questions. I make it or let me assume it 600 questions. Okay. 3 questions a day. And I am making it a 200-day exercise. That roughly boils down to 7 months. 7 months. That I will write 3 questions every day using this methodology. Okay. So for first 100, 150, 200 questions, do it like this. Then progressively, for every 50 questions, less details on paper, more details in brain. So you need to visualize this. Okay. Less details on paper, more details in brain. And once you have done that, by the time you will reach, like I said, the mark can be 450, 550 or 600. I am assuming on the safer side 600. Okay. So this requires consistency, discipline. By the time you will reach 600 question, you don't need that paper. You simply read the question twice or thrice, take deep breaths, think. That is 1 minute. That is 1 minute. In another 30 minutes, in another 30 seconds, you strategize. That is 1.5. And the maximum amount of words that we have is a 20 marker in PubAd. Okay, that 20 marker will require 300 to 350 words. Once you have thought everything out in this 1.5 minutes, 350 words you can maximum write in 4.5 minutes, even if you draw all the, stuff, change pen or pencil, underline, whatever. So you will be able to write any answer in 6 minutes. But to arrive at this 6 minute, you will have to work these 600 questions up. A great way to do is through a test series or through a PYQ, right? And you need to get evaluated. So during the class we will be doing certain questions, then there is a test series also accompanied with this program. You will write those tests, and finally when you will reach the level of mocks, you can very well achieve it. Okay, so the point here is that these 6 minutes if I write, and in the examination I have to attempt 19 questions. 5 questions each from question number 1 and 5, 10. 3 questions with 3 subparts each, either from section A or section B, 1 at least from each section. So you end up attempting 19. Let me put it round figure, 20. Right? If you perform at this optimum level, your paper will be over in 120 minutes and you are allocated 3 hours for the exam. Safe side, we need to sign, put attendance, circle bubbles here and there, right? In 2.5 hours, your exam will be over. You will never leave the paper, because there are certain students who say, sir, paper pura nahi hota, we are not able to complete the paper in time, because you are looking at time management from a wrong lens. The moment you see the question, you start writing and then you screw it up, because suddenly later you remember something and that is out of place. I have 5 fingers. If there is a later thought that comes into my mind, I will attach a 6th finger. Will I become Hrithik Roshan? No, I won't. I won't. It will look absurd. It will look bad. So the point is, let no afterthought come to your mind. Everything should be done in the brainstorming stage on the rough sheet itself. You are not doping your answer with any additional information later. Until and unless you commit a cardinal sin and you find out or you recollect an information or draw an analogy while writing, oh my God, this is absolutely cardinal to the core of this answer. Don't be emotional about it. Unless and until it is absolutely indispensable that your whole answer will go for a trash if you don't put it, don't put it. Don't put any afterthought. So this is the skill of answer writing. So ignore the word part in this worksheet. Just put cross everywhere. And I have given the broad framework for 10 markers. Okay. And in the last portion, if you see, I have identified certain mistakes that candidates commit. Now, in the previous session, I gave you an exercise on how to actually, look at PYQs, link them with the current affairs. So I will give you a question now. I will write the question on the board. That is going to be a simple question, and I am taking it from paper 2 so that you all have some sort of an idea on it. You can Google, but I need a broad answer on that, and for that you will be having roughly 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, use anything at your disposal, web, etc. But I want you to remember the framework, okay, and write a broad answer for me. I will give a 10 marker so that not much has to be written. I will take up a question from 2024 paper 2 itself so that all of you can find it easily. So this was 5C, question number 5C, paper 2, 2024, actual UPSC exam. Examine the role of TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, in protecting the interest of consumers. Okay, 10 marks. Just write this question down in the end, right? And you have 15 minutes to do it. Okay, for those of you who are watching this session online, you can WhatsApp me the answer. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI. Okay, using the same learnings that I have given you as part of the IBC framework and the brainstorming, you have 12 to 15 minutes to write a broad answer. It's a 10 marker, so the word limit is somewhere between 150 to 175. Pay special attention to the introduction, the contextualization part, also the what, why and how factor in the answer. Okay, so you have 15 minutes. Right. So just to remind you all, a mentorship has been scheduled for tomorrow, right? And we'll be connecting on Google Meet, right, where we can interact like on voice with each other, even on a video if you want to open up your cameras, right? And we can take over any of the queries that you might have, any of the concerns, or in general talk about public administration, anything and everything. So what's the status of the answer, Anji? What's the status? Written or not? Written or not? For those of you who are facing problems with their connection, a video will be rendered and it will be available in your account by evening, right? So do watch it, because I want you to complete all the 5 sessions that we have had, so that we can have a good discussion tomorrow. Otherwise you'll remain in the want of information, right? Okay, time's up, time's up. Time's up. चलिए दीजिए. Now you see, our friend here has written the introduction. The question was, examine the role of TRAI in protecting the interest of consumers. That means if I see the question, there is this examine. That means what is right, what is wrong about it, how far it has served the purpose, and where is the lag, or where is it lacking. Okay, if I look at the consumer interest, the idea is call or internet quality, speed, clarity, right? Then there will be issues like call drops, low coverage, low network, and then there will be issues of pricing, right? Then we can further drop it to junk SMS, right? Fake calls. Right now if you dial a regular call, there would be an advisory that is coming up that if somebody is claiming to be a police official or a judge, etc., etc. Okay, so these are the gamut of issues that are practical. Now if you look at the conceptual elements, the regulation as a concept, as a need for public administration in the LPG era, and within that framework, the concept of regulation, we are couching the idea of TRAI. This is how we need to break down the question. Okay, so we have the conceptual elements, the practical elements, the analysis that we need to make, what is good, what is bad about it. Okay, now what you have written is TRAI is a telecom regulatory body which ensures that the telecom provider, telecom provider, they are called as TSPs, telecom service providers, okay, must compliance with rules and regulations set out by the government. Is the question anywhere says what is TRAI? No, right? Where is that conceptual gravity? Where is the capturing of the context? Right? Regulation has emerged as a key arena in the modern day public administration. In that, TRAI is entrusted with regulating telecom sector to serve the consumer interest. However, there are both hits and misses to its credit. If I put it like this is my introduction, right? Then the positive role, issues, functions about TRAI, functions, positive role, areas where need to be improvement, where improvement is needed, suggestions, and in conclusion. TRAI, you write conclusion, TRAI authority play a key role in ensuring the protecting the interest of the consumer. This is very simplistic, right? The regulatory authorities must evolve with the need of time. So while TRAI has provided considerable service to the cause of public interest, more is needed, especially in light of the emerging challenges. And hence it needs to evolve to stay relevant. So this is how you will have to work and break down a question. I know this is not easy to begin with, but it will be very easy to come close to the idea. And now let me just demonstrate to you all that how I deal with questions and what is my approach of dealing with questions. Now if you see, this is a document that I made for a PYQ program that I had, but you see the nature of the questions that I have put. So here in you will find the UPSC actual question, and this is the 2024 question paper. And what questions I have been putting in my test series is, for example, this one, formal organizations are made up of informal groups discuss. This was the UPSC question. Okay, this was question number first B, 1B, and this is 1B, and this is the question that I made in my test series. Formal and informal organizations coexist essentially. Bernard views informal organization as a natural system. So the more we analyze the topics, because I make my test papers in line with the thought of UPSC. So that is why you see questions coming in so close in their essence. Obviously wordings will be here and there. So if you see entire 2024, and there was a discussion on the Telegram group about it as well, the GS Core official Telegram group, with a lot many candidates after. This was somewhere in October or May last year, September, October last year after the exam, where the entire paper that they found was covered in one way or the other. So if we prepare well, and you see this is the entire paper, and this document is out there in the public domain, you can find that. Okay. So the idea is that the more we get close to the examination, the better it is for us, because we are not here to do PhDs in public administration. We are here to simply qualify this examination. That's it. Okay. So with these words, I hope you all had fun in these 5 days as much as I had, right, in actually trying to start public administration for all of you. Let me tell you, the substantive classes start on 26th this month, right, after a break, a strategic break that has been given. For those of you, if you have any queries, you have my number. You can call the help desk as well, the front office. A great team of counselors is there to help you out with all your queries. And if you want to talk to me, you can, they'll route you as well. So before that, just enroll yourself. Okay. And if you are facing any hiccups, then please let me know. I'll try and help you as much as I can, as much as my capabilities, time and limitations allow. Okay. And hope to see you, a lot of you, when we start the substantive classes, just, after a brief gap. And hope that the plan that we made and the insights that we have gathered in these 5 days and whatever hands-on you have done, this will be a great stepping stone to embark on a wonderful, learning, exciting and interesting journey for all of you for Public Administration Optional. I thank you all, especially each one of you, whether it is Neha, Naveen, Anil Kumar, Hani, Pavi Jagan, Arvind, Cheshta, Naveen again, Siddhi, Daksh, Kunal, Ganesh, Kuldeep, Sridevi, Abhishek, Yashasvi, Akash, Rudra, Tejaswini, Praveen, Abhishek, again, Avinash, Harsh, Prashasti, Aniket, Atul, each one of you, Yogesh, okay, each one of you for participating in this boot camp. These are the names that I could recollect and I can see at the moment. Pardon me if I'm missed out on anybody, right? So I hope that we will together, chart a successful course for public administration, wherein the target of 300 plus will be realized by not one or two, but many of you in the examination. I thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.